Hey guys, we're at it. We're back at it. Elliot is about to show up. It's Monday early afternoon. I want to do a couple preliminary little things, preparations before we put the lower unit back on there, and then try to run the motor again. As I already explained when I was putting the impeller on, that you got to make sure you don't have anything stuck in the passages, like a wasp nest or some critters moved in. So here at the bottom, where the lower unit gets mounted, there's actually a pipe going up to the water jacket of the engine, and you can blow through that with air and just make sure that there's nothing stuck in there, anything blocking, you know, like a engine heart attack where the water passages are blocked off. So let me find a piece of 2x4. Swing this up here so we can work a little easier. So right in here is a steel line, or is it copper? I think it's probably not steel, something else. And that's where the water pump delivers the water up to the engine block. We already ran some water through it. I'm pretty sure it's not blocked, but you blow up in this, it goes through all the water passages, and then it blows out the bottom. We just want to make sure we don't have anything clogging anything here. So the bottom side here looks really good. We can clean this off a little more, and then we're gonna put the lower unit back on here when Elliot gets back. And we still have fuel hooked up. Only thing it's missing for us to start it up again is a battery. That's pretty much it. And yeah, that we'll see if we actually have to get into the carbs. Yeah, let's take a peek at the carbs real quick. So 3 carburetors, and they are pretty nasty from the outside, which that's not a big deal as long as they're not really nasty on the inside. You know, if I can find a spray can of engine cleaner, I'm gonna give this a wash right now. While we're waiting for Elliot, I'm gonna wash down this engine here. And I wonder what am I gonna wash this? I think this goes too far. We don't even know if it's running right yet, but it's so nasty here. There's so much mouse poop still in there. Down here, the shaft, you can actually take this cover off, held on by 6 bolts. And that would make it much easier to wash this all out. So I wonder if I'm gonna do that. Maybe. Let's see. Let's just try it. We're gonna take this cover off if we can. Probably has never been off. This is not a 10mm. This is something else. And then I just remembered, I'm not in metric world, so this I bet is a 3/8. Yeah. Still a original paint on it, so these screws have never been out. But they're all moving. So I think we're just gonna spin them out real quick. Always stainless steel in an aluminum housing. Dissimilar metals always causes corrosion when you pull those out. You always find a lot of dust from corrosion of the aluminum. Okay, little extension I need. Or a deep socket. Deep socket will do it too. The bolts are all the same. Oh, there are more. There are more bolts from the inside. 4 more. And this time for sure we need an extension. Huh, and these are also bigger, 7/16. Different screws too, different length. Makes it really easy to reassemble this later. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Oh. Elliot still doesn't know where I live, so he just drove past the house. Can you guys see this in here? Right where my finger's pointing. Those are the screws that I'm taking out. Wow. Oh, that's interesting. So one of the screws, I mean everything seems to be coming out here really nicely except the last one, and that's spinning in the hole. A really nice center punch. Somewhere in the middle. More or less. And then I have this really nice long, pretty good drill. So we're not it's here on this side. So, like there. Full speed. Okay, let's see if we can drill this stainless steel bolt. If this is anything really hard, then... Oh no, it's not too bad. And don't forget to put your safety glasses on, or your safety squints at least. There you go. Nice. Maybe the brass insert comes out to the bottom. I'll take the center punch for that. There you go. No, okay. Good enough. Good enough. Nice. It's a threaded insert. Yeah. Here, guys, look at this. That's the threaded insert with the leftover piece of the bolt. And lots of shmoo. There is definitely some wasps in here. So we had a mouse nest and wasps in the engine over the last 10 years. That's good. And we're just gonna okay, that was. Did you guys catch that? Oh, what the heck? I mean, you know, the whole story with boat engines is they have no air filter because they usually operate in a relatively clean environment over water where there is no dust. That's why no air filter. But if you have so much gunk in your engine housing, that gets loose in there, and then suddenly your carburetor sucks that all in. So we're gonna, you know what, the tape that we had on here, that was probably a really good idea. I already had the airbox off just to make sure we don't have anything in the airbox that could be sucked into the engine. And now, of course, I'm blowing around here with an open airbox. Just using some silvery tape here to close up the shaky right there. So just putting some tape over it. This here always sticks really well. And then we can blow around as much as we want without any dirt getting in there. Engine degreaser, a couple brushy brushes, and then Elliot already brought the garden hose over. Alright, especially here where the carburetors are so greasy and grimy. I'm not gonna point it at any electrical stuff, and when I do the rinse off, I'm also gonna try to keep that off of the electronics because you never know. It does.
love to see you smile again. Watch your eyes light up the room. Feel the sunny days caress our skin when we begin to thaw. All the white noise fading out to the void of everything we've done.
Yeah, that's great. You always gotta wear a white t-shirt when you do stuff like that. Always a good idea. Elliot, what are we going to do now? Do we want to first put this back on there? Yeah, this looks like someone chewed it up a little bit. The foam seal.
Oh yeah.
Like a little. Yeah, the carburetors are not perfect, but much better than before. And maybe up here. I could maybe do a little more. I don't know, the top one, that's the easiest to get to, is the worst. I really have this stuff everywhere now. It's just great.
Going out without a fight. Remember when the silence grew so big it pushed a hole straight through the sky. The ground beneath us caved in every time. So God, hear you cry. All our kind was curling up in smoke like a flame into the night.
So now we're going to take this little thread insert that we spun around here in the housing, oh no, in that housing, in this piece here, and just epoxy it back in place so it stays in there. And then we're gonna give this a good time to cure, and then we're gonna run the screws back in there. We can even get a tab for that. So here's my little epoxy setup right there.
I'd love to see you smile again. Watch your eyes light up the room. Feel the sunny days caress our skin when we begin to thaw. All the white noise fading out to the void of everything we've done. We always make mistakes, but round up just where we began. I might be lost again, but I haven't seen you
So lower unit, in the section where I put the water pump back together, I explained, you know, splines, they need to be greased. And the top spline, that's the one that actually goes into the power head, crankshaft. And you definitely want to make sure that the splines are somewhat clean and greased up nicely. And then there, here in this case, that's how we found it. There's a little shim ring on there. And I wonder which orientation. I bet you it belongs this way because there's a step inside. Like that. Yeah, just wait for that. You gotta put it in gear, and then you can spin the propeller, and then move the spline up top. Alright, now I'm just gonna put 1 or 2 of those in here. I already greased up the threads. Yeah, and it's adjustable, so this fin angle adjustment helps you trim your boat. So if your boat always wants to make a right turn, just take the 2 screws loose and move it. And you have to probably experiment a little bit. There is a little bit of some torque steer going on. Because the propeller always spins in one direction, the boat always wants to move away from that side. So there's going to be some torque steering going on. I don't know what that size is. Alright, so I put a little spring washer and a normal flat washer under there so that we're not going to lose this. I don't know if this is, again, overdoing it a little bit. I don't care. Maybe I just follow the marks on it when it comes to trimming here. Okay, we have the lower unit back on. We have washed the top end, and this here is not my favorite. I don't know. If I would have a better bungee cord, maybe with metal hooks. Let's see if I can find one. I think that's better than before. So the rubber pieces are sealing off a little better. Alright, now we need to hook up the water, get a battery going, and see if we can get it started, and then see if we have water, if we have cooling. Alright, there we go. We need to turn the water on. That's important. There should be enough water coming out of that to actually push it up to the to the water pump. I'm just not 100% on that. I mean, we're pushing water in on this side, and there's water coming out on the other side, so that's, but hey, let's see. Let's see what we can come up with. Not happy. Is there actually fuel in the line, you think? Yeah. It's the pressure now. Okay, let me put some water in. Coming out of your exhaust. On Mercury engines, Johnson and every you would have a little control nozzle right here where it pees water out so you know it's working. But obviously it's working. And it's running pretty. Hey! See the other exhaust? There's water coming out of that too. Now we can let it run a little bit and another story if it jumps into action a little easier. Okay, and now we're going to do a test. I want to know if it really runs on all three cylinders. If you have a multi-cylinder boat engine and you want to find out if it really fires on all three cylinders, get yourself a German set of Knipex pliers. They have to be German or else you can't do it. And then start it up and then just pull one spark plug cap at a time. Not all at the same time, just one at a time. It's exciting. All right, German Knipex. It's running on that one for sure. On that one too. On that one too. I'm really excited. So 3 cylinders firing. I don't think we really need to do a compression check. We good just for the sake of doing it, but it idles really nicely. And you would maybe think, oh, it's really noisy, but the exhaust down there, right down there, it's usually underwater, so that muffles everything. I love it. Yeah. I don't know. This is really cool. Yeah, turn off the water. Let's do a compression test just for the sake of it. I'll get the 21 millimeter or 13/16 socket for it. Alright, just for you guys, we're gonna do a compression check. But the thing runs so well. Now with ethanol-free gasoline in the carburetors, I bet it's gonna clean up even a little bit over time. So if there's any kind of gunk sitting in the float bowls, but even the fuel filter here on the side was really clean, and the fuel pump seems to be working too. Ooh, that's how you break him. No, just dropped it. Move the guys around a little bit, guys and girls, right there. So, not in gear, need to be full throttle, and just a few cranks. Okay, are you ready? Ready. Fingers all out of the danger zone. Fingers out, legs out. 105. Well, that's not very great. 105 is good enough to run, but it's definitely not high. I don't know what the specs on those engines are, but they're usually a healthy 120, 150. I don't know how high compression this is here, but what's that paint? Oh, no, it's just paint. It's coming out of the hole. 105, huh? Come on. I mean, the way it sounds and runs. But yeah, that's two-stroke for you. They wear. Alright. Ready? Ready. Alright, 5. There is one disclaimer. This is a Harbor Freight pressure gauge, and we have already noticed before that it's showing really low, and then I did a in-house recalibration of this thing. So I found all the pressure gauges that I had, I hooked them all to the same air source, and then pretty much the majority was saying one number and this one was saying something else. So then in the back here in the housing you can I actually wrote it down, calibrated on 9/25/2020, so in September. But it was not calibrated by a, calibration institute. It was just calibrated in my garage with all the gauges that I had. But yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can average out, if you have 4 or 5 different gauges and you can connect them all together and they all show the same number. And then this one is the one that shows something else. You adjust it to line it up with it. So it's relatively accurate now. Okay, but at least they're even. 105, 105. It's better for them all to be equally low than having one high and one low and one in the middle, because then you get a lot of vibration and a lot of unevenness. This thing has been sitting for 10 plus years in this towing company's yard. I wouldn't be surprised if we would take this out on the lake with fresh fuel and really give it the beans for a little bit, like some high-speed runs, and really let it run for a few hours. That stuff comes alive in here. The piston rings come loose, and then suddenly we have some more compression, but I'm not worried as long as it runs.
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Same, huh?
Same.
All right. That's it, just a smidge over 100. So I'll look it up online. There must be some specs somewhere. Someone will tell me what they are supposed to have from the factory or from some manufacturer's service manual. So, here we go. And now we're gonna put the spark plugs back in. And then let it run one more time. I like running it. Not just me, huh? Not just me dropping everything all the time. And then we can put the side cover back on here. I mean, now looking at it, it's not the prettiest. It's really not so hard to take even the power head off. Once you have this cover off, you can actually get to all those bolts of the power head. I have no idea if these are the correct. They look like they're original. They are painted black. These are the original spark plugs. I'm kind of surprised that they don't use ring electrode spark plugs on other vehicles like boats, cars, motorcycles. Why is that so common in aviation? You have ring terminal spark plugs too. I've seen those before on like little Robinson helicopters.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's so common in boats, but not in cars. There's probably, is this snow? All right, it's snowing. Lovely.
Coming off the top of the mountain.
All right. Shall we do it one more time? Water? I love it. Water pump running. Carbs have no issues. All right. Oh, I don't know. Are you guys still looking? Oh yeah, you're still looking. All right, no choke, no nothing, no throttle, just start. I might have mended too good with a two-stroke oil. I probably did it like 40-to-1 instead of 50-to-1.
Yeah.
But just some extra lubrication, especially after sitting for so long, is probably not the worst idea. Yeah, now we're just gonna slap the cover back on. See if our epoxy fix did the trick. Here's my little epoxy setup again. So once I'm done with it, all this, then you can yeah, then you just peel the tape off and throw it away, and it was never there. All right, let's see if our repair did anything. We forgot the underside.
That looks like some kind of
Shmoo. Some dead something. So here's the little threaded insert right there that we just glued back in. And again, don't do 90-pound Gorilla. Just, not 90 pound, 190 pound Gorilla. Just tighten them up, put some grease on the bolts, make sure you don't strip anything out. This is more important than tightness on those boat engines. Alright, there you go. Hardware. On outboard engines, you can also use the same brand that I used for engine degreaser. They make engine shine. You can always spray that on here. It's a nice corrosion protection. I mean, this is not clean by any stretch of the imagination, but this engine shine, that kind of soaks into all the nooks and crannies and makes sure that water doesn't get in. Yeah, that's good. Tight. Especially if you want to sell an outboard engine. Give it a little bit of a wash, let it dry, and then soak it in engine shine so it looks really nice and clean. And on the outside, the best engine shine you can use is two-stroke engine oil, and just put it on a rag and rub it all in. It's nice and shiny, at least for a couple of days. Right, Elliot? That's how you do it. I am pretty excited about the outcome of this engine, that it runs that well. No problems. I think, guys, yeah, Elliot, come over here. That's it. So Elliot and Heiko's little boat project here, and now outboard engine project, is coming to an end. I don't think I'm going to do anything else to this motor until it actually ends up on the back of the boat again, you know, cleaning up and polishing and making it look all spiffy and all that. But it runs. It could probably use some carb cleaning eventually, some new fuel line that we can hook onto the tank, probably a new fuel tank, because that thing is also completely beat up. But yeah, the motor itself and even the control box is fine. I already looked up how much I'm going to have to invest in a set of new control cables. They're only $40 a piece. And then I can maybe even optimize the length of those a little bit. These ones here are 12 foot long and they're a little long. But yeah, motor is running. What do you think?
It's good.
It's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. We made it. So it took us only 3 days. Friday, and then yesterday my water pump install. Yeah, and the water pump is running. Everything is running. I really like it. All right. So even if I don't keep the boat and maybe take the chainsaw to it and cut it into small, handy little pieces that fit into the back of my pickup truck, I can sell the engine easily. All right, you guys, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care. Bye.